just in case. So we've got
Okay, game on. Okay, so our prompt that we're supposed to discuss, is over the reading of the textbooks for the different styles of leadership.
Yep.
So I'll go ahead and start it off. What stuck out to me the most was situational leadership, and that's just because that's something that we really use at Starbucks a lot. Just because in the nature of what we're doing and the repetitive motions, we're always trying to assess the situation, assess where our employee, partner, or subordinate is at their skill set. And then as the manager or the leader, we adjust the way that we talk to them depending if they are either, capable of doing the task, not capable, or willing or not willing. So for me, that kind of stuck out as just what we've been doing for a long time. So it's just one of the easier things that I tend to just kind of gravitate towards. But once again, it's just the specifics of what my job entails right now.
cool.
I'd like to chime in about the charismatic leader. I think that part I kind of gravitated towards. I've had an experience in the past where I've had a charismatic leader who's moved up in the ranks in my corporation, but I felt that they were overcompensating for a lack of knowledge a lot of the time. They really kind of rallied the troops and got people behind them, but when it came down to substance and you really asked them something in depth, they really reverted to somebody else, or they didn't know the answer, or they didn't know how to proceed. So I like the part about the charismatic leader. I can see where it says that they're usually authoritarian. They kind of command people. But I think that in the end, charismatic leadership's not really all that it's cracked up to being in a lot of instances.
Yeah, I agree. I have to kind of piggyback on that because I was going to talk about transformational leadership, because that's something I did a lot of studying on in the beginning of my career. And from what I've read and sort of my experience with it, I feel like you're either a transformational leader or a charismatic one. Like you can think that a charismatic leader is transformational, but they might end up just being all speaking skills. Like they're all communication skills, or they're all sort of that, just again, that charisma, that sort of personal power. But when it comes to substance, they don't have anything. So I think it's very easy to mistake a transformational leader for a charismatic leader, or rather a charismatic leader for a transformational leader, if that makes any sense. So the transformation happens, the real substance happens with the transformational leadership, but the sort of charisma can trick you into thinking.
That surface level kind of
right
perception.
Yes.
For sure. For transformational, obviously it called out Disney in the textbook and in the lecture this week, which was entertaining. But that's a lot of obviously with the Disney company, with kind of the creative, interactive, visionary, like we always joke, it's like, oh yeah, I drank the Kool-Aid a long time ago. If you're a Disney person, you're probably a lifer because you believe so much in the vision and the standards that they've set forth that it makes you feel as if you're part of that bigger picture, which I think pushes people to be more better followers, better employees, because they have like a slice of that pie.
Mm-hmm. And they've got the empowerment piece too at Disney. Like that's a big deal. I remember that from Orlando. That you can really do anything. And honestly, it's the same at Universal Studios. I remember I worked there in college the first time, and back in the day. And we could do anything. I remember this kid dropped his popcorn. It was like the ice cream story, but it was a kid who really literally dropped a big bag of popcorn at Universal. And it was just somebody, it wasn't even in the park. He dropped it in the like City Walk area, and they were able to go back in the park and get him a new thing of popcorn, which was crazy to me at the time. But now that I look at it through that lens, I can see how that empowerment really gets you invested. It makes you feel like, as opposed to having all the accountability but no authority, which I felt like was a big deal in retail a lot. Like you'd get your butt chewed, but you couldn't do anything. You just had to take all the beatings. But it's the opposite at Disney, which is cool.
Yeah, I feel like it gives people that sense of ownership over what they do. Now, a lot of kind of the details and stuff in there seems very romanticized. There, there are of course checks and balances, but really, it was kind of like, is it appropriate? And is it achievable? Is it something we can actually do? Then as long as you can explain that, go for it. Like when I was in guest services, we didn't have to ask to give someone tickets to come back. We didn't have to ask to give people food vouchers, like that kind of thing. If you could just explain your why, it was go for it, which was nice because you did feel empowered. It wasn't just, having to go through the motions of task 1, task 2, task 3. We were given a little bit of creativity. So that was definitely the empowering part. I think keeps people there longer, for sure.
Cool.
Let's see. What else? So a lot of the prompt says, what do you think makes the most sense? And I know we did bring up like the situational leadership. Do you feel that that is like the most conducive to your type of line of business?
I think I don't know about Christian, but I believe that it does because we deal with a lot of different situations with different, employees at Starbucks, and trying to get them to buy into what the company is about, what it stands for, and not just feel like it's a job, so understanding that they can grow their careers with Starbucks in so many different directions that's not retail related, and understanding what do they want and how can I communicate this to them to get the most out of their career.
Absolutely. There was what they talked about, like Maslow's hierarchy and hierarchy of needs and all of that. And to have a company that recognizes that and realizes, okay, well, you might not be making coffees your whole life. However, what can you learn today that's going to help you down the line? I think that's really cool. That it's like that true investment into who is working for you, which is great.
Well, that's one thing that Starbucks is currently doing. Like you have Houston, myself, and Robert. We're all Starbucks partners. We're all taking advantage of the tuition reimbursement that they have for Starbucks. So we're here. You have to work 20 to 25 hours a week, and then you qualify for full tuition reimbursement, and we're going to graduate with no debt.
Right. That's awesome.
Or pretty much.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like Kristina's like, "Are you serious?" But yeah, like, and they have.
You can't see it, but I'm weeping. There's a little weeping going on right now.
Me too.
But there's like over 50 different majors that you can choose from before Starbucks. Yeah. Like, oh, they would reimburse you if it was only specifically around business, especially for like a manager. Right. But then when they opened up this whole tuition reimbursement and the partnership with ASU, it's like I have two of my employees, two of my partners who. One's doing teaching, the other one's doing psychology, and you get reimbursed on like either the first or the second check as soon as your grades post. So it's not like you have to stay with the company after it's done, and you realize that. So the whole buying situation is I'm looking at my responsibility as a store manager, as a partner, is to try to hit our metrics. So Starbucks has enough money to be able to do all the initiatives that it has, like the Opportunity Youth Program, the Veterans Initiative, and this Starbucks College Achievement Plan. So, Howard Schultz is really, I guess, would be considered a transformational leader.
I think so. Yeah.
And
thinking out of the box.
Yeah.
And then when I think of charismatic leader, I always just think of like, for lack of a better term, like a cult leader.
I was going to say Jim Jones.
You know what I mean? Like I really picture like, Heaven's Gate and everyone's drinking Kool-Aid. That's just me though, and for me, it's like that, like Justin was saying, the danger of having a charismatic leader is that they'll get you to drink that Kool-Aid, but yet, they're the one that won't drink it, and then they go out the door, and then everyone's dead, and then they go start a new cult. So,
well, that's the joke, is that they reference Disney as transformational leadership, and it's like, well, that's kind of the joke. Is it's like, no, this is so great, guys. Like, I can get my family in for free. I may be making minimum wage. It's like, or you could get a different job that pays you enough to like buy an annual pass. But it's like so much being a part of that, the Disney family that people are all in for it. So it does have, I think it's drawbacks and its benefits, but
but
it's pretty funny.
It's like a life, though. Like the same thing with the Universal people. Like I have friends that are characters and like actors for Universal, and they are hardcore and don't care. Who knows it? And they probably don't make a ton of money, but don't care. You know what I mean? It's, hey, if you're happy, who cares?
Yeah, and I think that's what makes it such a strong tactic, is that kind of having that empowering feeling, or like being a part of that vision statement that we touched on a little bit in the earlier chapter, like making people feel as if they can make a difference makes them a better follower.
Right.
So it's, in whatever capacity that is, it seems to definitely be a useful type of leadership.
I also like the leader-member exchange theory. I feel like that's something I've covered a few times in class, like other classes have it. I don't know. Are you all organizational leadership majors? It's like everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm mass communication.
Okay.
Yeah, business communication.
All right. So I feel like I've covered the LXM a number of times in other classes, but I feel that's, I don't know, a very practical way to look at leadership. That it's an exchange of benefits, that you get something as a leader, you get something obviously from the follower, and then as the follower, you're getting something from the leader. And I feel like that exchange is a very sort of pragmatic way to look at managing people or leading.
Yeah, but the danger of that is the whole in-group, out-group thing.
Sure.
And then,
right.
when because like you're going to want to work, you're going to, like for me as a leader who has control over scheduling people, I'm going to schedule myself with people who I want to work with, right? But I also work for a corporation that if I show favoritism, or all of a sudden I'm giving a certain person more hours than the other one, then I can get in trouble with the compliance
But
people.
the goal, they said the goal was actually for you to attempt that in-group relationship with every member of your team. So the only time, again, in scheduling, that would be against like company policy. But as far as like, say, offering growth opportunities or something like that, if you're trying to approach people who have self-selected to the out group as opposed to the in group, like they're like, dude, I don't want it. I just come here for a paycheck. I don't care. And they're self-selecting to the out group and they don't want enrichment activities, then that's kind of on them. But as long as you're offering those enrichment activities to all of your team members, then I don't see a problem with it. But yeah, if you're like, for lack of a better word, messing with people's hours, then I have a problem.
When I think of being on a journey of like continuous improvement, right? If I'm looking at, I'm trying to take my organization from good to great, I'm not going to allow people to be on my team who are just collecting a paycheck.
Self-selecting.
Right? And like, if I'm noticing, I'm like, hey, you haven't drank the Kool-Aid, for lack of a better term, right? And I'm like, we aren't here to collect a paycheck. We're here to make a difference. So I feel that even like when somebody self-selects to be on an out group as a leader, that causes me pause. In all honesty.
But the functional roles, like if everybody serves a function and you serve that function as, I don't know, cog number 5 on the team, and you serve that little function, and even though you don't want to like be a better cog, but you're still a perfectly fine cog number 5, then I think we're all right? Like if you're still doing your cog work okay, then you don't have to try to be a better cog. You can just be cog number 5, right?
Well, that's kind of like, I don't even remember, what was it? The willingness or readiness level scale, that 1 through 4.
Yeah.
That totally
the quadrants
is
or
that
whatever.
where you may be trying really hard versus not trying hard but fully capable.
Yes.
So it's interesting. Yeah.
Visionary too, because sometimes people envision just being the best at their job. They don't have a desire to take command of a group of people. They just want to be the best at what they do. So I think some people can be almost leaders of their general position because they have a vision to be that position.
Yeah,
For sure.
for sure. I'm gonna check it back at my little streaming thing
Nah.
because I'm terrified. It still says I'm streaming. Just want to put that out there.
That's a good thing. Good.
I got the contingency plan.
Awesome.
All right, let's see.
Did we want to talk really briefly about the assignment that's the thing that's due to, is it tomorrow? Tuesday.
I think it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday. So I set up a thread in our group
saw
discussion
that.
board.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to figure out how to not delete some of the other threads that we have. So I just decided to color code it and make it red to be like, hey, that's new, you know?
Shiny. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just think if we all just go in, maybe by tonight when we're done with this conversation, done with this Google Hangout, we can just jot down the 5 that we want, and then we can kind of come up with a preliminary list, and then
My fear
decide.
is that there's 75 possible options, and that we could, in all likelihood, probably will choose 5 different ones per person, and then we have 25, things to select from. Or do we want to do something like one person is the editor proofreader and 5 of us pick a thing and write about it?
Well, we just want to make sure there's no overlap too between the 5 that we pick.
Well, I know that all the only thing that's due for this assignment that is due on Tuesday
Is the
if
5.
all we just have to list the 5.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
So I think that I would want to try to just tackle what's due first.
Sure.
I think after we decide the 5, then we can start looking at how we can disperse the
I
work
don't mean
evenly and do all
let's
that.
do the whole assignment tonight. I just meant my worry is that we're going to get on the thread and that we're going to be like, this is my 5, and then we're each going to have 5 different things, and then we're going to have to willow it down to 5 from 25 in a day. That's kind of my fear. But I mean, we can give it a shot.
I can understand that thought.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
But I mean,
We
we
could
can
just all
do our
pick 3.
5 each of us, and then see if we end up with 25 different ones, and then kind of call it from there if you want to.
If we don't pick ones that are simultaneous to one another, we could each just take one of our top ones and then write about it, like
Right.
Christian was saying.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Okay.
That's good. Because then everyone can have a focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think everyone put their top 5, and then if they don't align with one another, whatever your number 1 is, in the 5 that'll be writing, just take your number 1.
Cool. I like it.
Good.
Look at us problem solving. Good job.
Hey team.
We're communicating in a group, guys.
As long as there's not streaming involved, we're generally okay. It's
And then did everyone turn in their assignment for the interview? Not the interview protocol. No, yeah, it was the interview.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm working on it now.
Yeah, man. I just finished and submitted the 10 questions and stuff just so I can get a little bit ahead.
Yeah.
Just because that I don't know who else is taking the organizational pro seminar right now.
No.
I am, man. So it's like there's a lot of work going on that end too. So it's like I'm close to I'm close to graduating. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Ditto.
2 semesters.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it, but there's a lot of work going on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 400 classes are kind of kicking my
They're rough.
behind
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Has anybody taken writing the communication for managers or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that one
Last
hard?
semester.
Is that one like what? Is that one hard?
This is going to sound really stupid, but it's a lot of writing. It's just a lot of writing, and it feels almost redundant a little bit, so much writing. But
So
it does get easier because of the redundancy. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay.
Because you're like,
so
wow,
it's just
I wrote all this stuff before. And, but it is a lot.
Okay.
It is a lot of physical stuff. Writing. I'm sorry. There's no other way to say it.
The writing class makes sense.
It's a writing class. There's a lot of
I
writing.
know that's what my next session B classes are. It's the Pro Seminar 2 and then written communication for managers, and then I'm done. So it's like,
Oh. Well, you're
You know what I
never
mean?
going to stop writing. Yeah.
Oh man.
yeah. So it's just like it's gonna be a lot.
So you graduate in May, then
Yeah,
too?
I'm flying down to Arizona to do the
Me
whole.
too. I already have my hotel booked, ready for it.
Wow.
Yeah. So Starbucks offers kind of like a special guided tour for all like the Starbucks people who are going to be there for graduation. Yeah, so I'm trying to coordinate to figure out when that is to relations when the College of Integrative Sciences, I think is what organizational leadership falls under. So I'm trying to see when that graduation is so I can make sure that I can not be there super early, then I don't have to.
Right. Cool.
So
Very cool.
Alicia's graduating. I'm graduating. Anybody else?
I
Me,
graduate summer.
yeah, I'm too.
Summer.
Oh, cool.
Are you guys gonna walk in in May?
I don't know.
That's
It's,
a long way.
Far, far
I
away.
gotta see if I can get time off of work.
I need that dang hat.
Yeah. So
No. I slept through my high school graduation in the chair with the hat on. That was good for me. I'm done.
That's how you knew that was
That
it.
was
Yeah.
it. I figured I'm not a walking
You know,
person.
I was kind of the same way. Like in high school, I didn't I didn't care. But now where it's like I took a 10-year break in my college academia career.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Me too.
every second that I'm studying now is taking time away from me spending time with my 3 little
Right.
girls and my wife. It's like we are going to celebrate.
Yeah.
It's gonna
You earned it. You
Yes.
got to go and celebrate
Yes.
it. That's for
So
sure.
we're gonna celebrate, and Houston lives in the Pacific Northwest, and it's been like this winter's been cold, man. It's been like
freezing.
like 30s and 20s and stuff, man.
Means it's good.
Well, it was-
I'm happy.
Yeah. Snowboarding.
So,
No, well, I'm in Orange County, California, and last Sunday it was hailing outside. I kept looking out into my backyard. There was hail, and it was like a high in the 40s. And today it was like 84.
Yeah.
So
Try
can't.
looking outside and being like, oh, it's snow. It's snowing outside. And from someone from I'm from Los Angeles, so for me, I'm like, I don't know how to deal with this crap. I'm like, lucky for me, I have a remote. Yeah, me too. That's what I thought. But now I have remote start on my car, and I let my car start warming up from inside. But yeah, man.
I will say that is last Monday morning, I had to sit in my car because I went to put my windshield wipers on, and it was all ice. It didn't go anywhere. I was like, what's happening?
Yeah.
So I actually had to.
That's every day in the Northwest.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
It really is. So, are we all done? I think we.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're